Hey guys, what's going on? This is Sam here with iUpdateOS,
And Jake from Lega My Django.
and welcome to episode number 3, I believe, of the Jailbreak Jab. What's going on, Jake?
Not much. Well, actually, a lot. We've got a lot to talk about today.
Oh, we
Sam.
do. I'm thinking questionnaire. I don't know why. The agenda is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
This week has been very stressful. Jake and I have finals coming up in the very near future, and it's
Yeah.
been quite hectic. Just put it that way.
Some districts, public districts around us, are already out of school. This is their last day.
Yeah, which is kind of not fair, but It's how it
What's
goes.
funny is that last year we would have been out by now.
oh yeah, that's true. But the
Yeah.
schedule, we had so many snow days, but I don't even know if we're going longer because of snow days.
No, we're not. It's really weird.
Yeah, but we had so many. It was crazy. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. We're going to kick this off by talking about the current state of the iOS 7.1 jailbreak, which so many of us would love to have.
Yeah.
But anyway, lately I actually made a video. This is days before this additional iOS 7.1 jailbreak information came out. I talked about a video, and for some reason I can't even remember what I talked about in this video right now. But anyway, recently there's been this guy called Ionic. I'm pretty sure at Ionic on Twitter with a 1 somewhere in the @ username. But basically, he has this iOS 7.1 jailbreak. He put a picture of Cydia running on iOS 7.1.1. He put, I'll just leave this here. I'm pretty sure he also has a video on YouTube. I'm not sure of what to search to find this video. But anyway, he has a video of this iOS 7.1 jailbreak running. He reboots. It's untethered. Yet at the same time, he's like, I'm not going to release this to anybody.
Yeah. It's kind of mean.
Yeah, I guess the thing that bothers me the most about this is he's like, here, I have an iOS 7.1 jailbreak. My phone is 10 times better than everybody else's, but nobody else gets it but me.
It's kind of like, I don't know, and I was saying before is that last time when this happened, what's his name? The guy who made Black Rain and everything else before.
I do not know, I'm sorry.
The guy who said he was going to release the jailbreak before the Evaders did.
Oh my gosh. GeoHot.
Yeah, GeoHot. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's
And
been in the jailbreak community for quite some time.
Yeah, he was the first jailbreak that I ever used was his. And what could be happening here is that it would be kind of far-fetched, but the Evaders could have asked them to not release it, or they are just realizing that they can use these exploits for iOS 8.
Yeah, that's true. As you guys may or may not know who are listening to this right now, exploits are basically the things that allow a jailbreak to function. And when you run out of exploits in an operating system, there's nothing to change to make the jailbreak work, basically, or at least that's my understanding of how exploits work. And if they if they use all these exploits up too soon, such as in the iOS 7.1 jailbreak, then we won't be able to utilize them in the future, thus ending the whole jailbreak scene entirely, which nobody wants.
Right. Excuse me for 1 second.
That's fine. But anyway, guys, that's really all we know about the iOS 7.1 jailbreak. I mean, there hasn't been tons and tons of news, but there has been a lot of images floating around Twitter. Oh, hi, I have an iOS 7.1 jailbreak. And I want to just say this right now. There are tons and tons of scams. Unless you see that there is an iOS 7.1 jailbreak, such as a blog talking about it that is very, I guess I should just say, I can't think of the word. Reputable is what I'm trying to say. I'm struggling with my words lately. But unless you hear from a reputable source that there is an iOS 7.1.1 jailbreak out, do not fall into these traps of these scammers saying, oh, here, it costs $5 to do this. Just enter your PayPal. This is all a scam, guys. Jailbreaks are always free no matter what when they are made by the right people. There's a lot of hacks and other things that are being placed in with these jailbreaks, such as one called Unflawed, that when you enter your iTunes password, it sends that information to China, and it's hidden in the form of a tweak, which is absolutely terrible. People have, just the things that people think of to screw other people over is just unbelievable.
What was that one tweet that said, "How do I get a real
Oh
Cydia?"
yeah, yeah. Somebody tweeted at me. This was on my How to Jailbreak iOS 6 video. He was like, "How do I get the real Cydia?" And I was like, "I didn't know there was a fake Cydia." I was like, "I wasn't aware of that." Was
And
anybody
then the
else?
guy, like, there was incorrect grammar in it, and then a guy responded to it, and I didn't even understand what he was trying to say either.
Yeah, the guy who replied to my tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he might have been referencing. I'm struggling today, guys. I apologize to think of all these different names, but he was referencing Taiji. This at the very beginning of the iOS 7 jailbreak cycle, there was so much controversy about the evaders, including a Cydia alternative called Taiji. Apparently, this is a very broken,
Oh.
a very simple version of the story. Basically, there was piracy in that alternative to Cydia. People got mad. They were like, how can the evaders support Taiji? There were all kinds of crazy rumors of Taiji paid the evaders to hundreds of thousands to include this
Right,
program.
I remember this.
And we heard from Pod2G himself. He said, none of this is true. We wanted to give Chinese users of the jailbreak the best possible way to customize their device. But that whole deal fell through. They did not get any money as far as I know. They were just trying to be nice and help people out. A lot of people took it the wrong way and gave the evaders a bad name, which really isn't fair. They didn't do anything wrong. Their intention was never, as far as my understanding is, to I'm having a hard time here, guys.
It's okay.
Condone piracy. Whew,
Right.
It's been a long week.
Oh,
But
yes.
yeah, and next week's gonna be long too. But yeah, their intention was never to condone piracy, say this is okay, and that's really where the whole controversy of Taiji came in. But that's all been settled. Everything's good and kosher now, and I think the majority of people have moved on and trust the evaders again, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. The Taiji and also being downloaded alongside Cydia. What you could used to do. I'm old grandpa here, constantly talking
When
about.
I was a boy.
When I originally jailbroke, there was three. There was Icy, Rock, and Cydia.
Oh really? I had no idea.
You can actually still get Rock in Cydia, but yeah, there's and then before all that, it was called Installer.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard Cydia referred to as, or
Yeah,
something referred to as installer.
its full name is basically the Cydia Installer, but before it was just called Installer. But yeah, I never had Icy or Rock. I've seen it a couple times. I heard that it was more unsecure, so it was just
Oh yeah.
it was faster though, is what its big thing was, and it's just disbanded now.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wish there was an alternative city because so many times I'll just be like swiping back from the recent changes section to go back and look
Yeah.
at the big list of tweaks, and City will just completely lock up on me. I'll have to quit out of it, like kill the app, and then go back into Cydia. And that's just a little inconvenience compared to the many
Yeah.
pluses to Cydia, of course. But
So there's been that one guy talking about his iOS 7.1 jailbreak. Have the evaders stated any comments about it at all or no?
Not that I know of. Pod2G's he's been pretty quiet on Twitter lately. He posted something today that I think was a complete joke, but I'll mention it real quick. I think it was this morning. He posted a picture of an iPhone all glitched out, and he said, "Is this an exploit?" So I'm sure that was just a joke. He was just showing like how he messed up his screen, but maybe not. Maybe it was a real hard exploit that he's going to use to make a 7.1 jailbreak. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, at this point in time, I don't think we're going to be getting an iOS 7.1 jailbreak. That's my own personal feelings, but WWDC, which we're going to talk about later in this episode, is like a week and a half away at the most.
And I don't think you agreed with me on this. I don't want a 7.1.
Yeah, this is where I do disagree a little bit because I don't know why. I'm the guy who always wants to be on the latest firmware. If like for iOS 6.1, I remember on iOS 6.1.1, you were like, I'm not going to upgrade to 6.1.2 in jailbreak. There's no point. Well, I completely unjailbroke, updated to 6.1.2, and installed all my tweaks again.
I don't think there wasn't that big of a
Difference? No, it
difference
was a bug
as
fix.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
But it was, I think it was even something that didn't apply to me, like a calendar issue. But good old Sam here, he's got to be on the latest iOS if possible. I'm like that with everything. I don't know why, but I just like the feeling of being on the freshest and latest and greatest OS from Apple if possible, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Because 7.1 isn't jailbroken. I would never unjailbreak my iPhone just to get some speed, little UI changes here and there. It'd be nice to have once again, but nothing that I need to have or anything like that.
Yeah.
As far as iPhones go, though, there has been
Yeah.
a lot floating around related to the
Oh,
iPhone 6.
the iPhone rumors are always just huge. I'd like to one day just see how like the Android phones, like maybe like the Galaxy S, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
how all their stuff leaks, because it's just incredible.
Oh, yeah, there's been
Um,
so much coming out. There was a picture, I think a few months ago, from Sonny Dixon, is like the number one iPhone leaker. He's given out multiple prototype iPhones to some fairly large YouTubers, just letting them show their audience what the iPhone 6 is supposedly supposed to look like. And I'll just kind of describe it real quick. Basically, it's a larger iPod Touch with a 4.7 inch, of course, I'm assuming a Retina display, but there's these black lines going across the, or according to the phone you got, there's like a white line,
yeah, there's
or
there's like there. I don't know if it's glass or not, but
Ye- um, I can't remember if I
it's
saw the little glass port for like the cellular, so those might be like a way to get the Wi-Fi and cellular signal out.
the lines.
Yeah, maybe.
But aren't isn't the aluminum the whole unibody design of the phone, except for the glass and the iPhone 5s? Isn't that all the antenna?
You know what? You might be right. I honestly do not know for sure, but you might be right on that one.
Because on the iPhone 4 it was just the sides, and then I think on the iPhone 5s, I think it was also the back. part of
Yeah,
it.
you might be right. I honestly can't remember. Um, but anyway, supposedly the two screen sizes that this iPhone 6 is supposed to come in is 4.7 inches, and then later, like a month later, there's supposed to be a 5.5 inch model available. Jake, which one would you pick if you had the two options?
It's 4.7 and 5.5.
Yeah.
So how much is the 5S's screen?
5S's screen is 4 diagonally.
I'd probably get the 4.7 one.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you on that because, like,
I've never
see,
been.
mhm.
I think 5.5 is a little too big.
Yeah, I mean, seeing these, seeing people walk around with two hands on their Galaxy Note 3, that's like, isn't that like 5.7 or something, or 5.9? I think it's
I don't know.
5.9.
John Rettinger, he just loves his giant phones.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, these phones are just absolutely massive, and people are just like shoving them down in their pocket. I'm like, I couldn't imagine carrying around a small tablet in my pocket.
Yeah,
That's
I call it a phablet. I don't know why that isn't a bigger term. Phone and a tablet.
yeah, I've heard that referred
Yeah.
to on larger phones before, but I mean, gosh, just yeah, 5.5 for me is just way too huge. I'll definitely undoubtedly be getting the 4.7 if these are the supposed screen sizes that we'll be getting.
Yeah, I think the max I would deal with is 5.
Yeah, 5, and they'll probably do that like two iPhone next generations later, just like they did with the iPhone 5 to 5S. I guess that's two generations. But yeah, 5 for 5, 5 for 5, 5.5 is what I'm trying to say. Is just it's just a little too big. I just feel like I won't get my
Yeah.
one-handed use, which that's one thing that I love about the iPhone. Whenever people are like, "Oh, well, my Samsung Galaxy S5 has a bigger screen than your iPhone," I'm like, "Yeah, but it's really hard to use one-handed."
I mean, I have a tablet to do that.
Yeah, exactly. If I want something for two-handed use, I go on my iPad. If I want something that's just easier to use almost without as much handling effort, I guess you would say, I go for the iPhone or the iPod Touch.
I mean, yeah, I don't do. My iPhone is my mobile computer.
Exactly.
It's not my like thing that I use for every single thing. Or, I mean, primarily if I'm going to do something, if I really want, like, if I'm going to do something, most of the time it's going to be on my computer.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's crazy.
But yeah, I think 4.7 would suit me. And
Oh,
then,
definitely.
yeah, and then if I'm going to do something larger on my iPad, I mean, I store other, like, bigger, I store all my music on my iPad. I don't have room for it on my phone. And
Yeah, that's another plus with a tablet. It's more,
yeah,
I guess, in my opinion, I like using, like for YouTube videos, for example, I always try to use my iPad or a computer if I can.
yeah, if I'm sitting in my house, I'm not gonna watch YouTube videos on my iPhone most of the time, unless I'm downstairs or something.
Yeah, or somewhere away from your
Yeah.
larger screen option.
A lot of the time, if they're a longer video, I'll watch it on my Xbox One. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's one thing that even though I have it right, like I'm literally turning around looking at it right now, I never watch YouTube videos on my TV. Just for whatever reason, I never do it.
my friend, he always watches them on his TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the time. He did that on the 360 too. He
Oh,
just always watch them on his TV.
I mean, it's definitely a viable option, no doubt, because you're getting like the ultimate video content experience, like I think video was intended to be. Is
Yeah,
on
and then
on
you
a
can
large
also
screen.
use your phone as your remote
That's also a super nice feature with the
inside
Xbox
of the
One.
YouTube app.
I'm not sure if the PS4 can do that. I'm sure it can
I'm
because
pretty sure it
PS4
can.
is ultimate. But anyway, guys, I think have you heard anything else about the iPhone 6, Jake, that people need to know about?
Um, I don't really like the lines across
Yeah.
the back.
In If you are listening to this podcast through the podcast app, click the little info button next to the title of this episode, and I'll have a link in that description with a picture of how this iPhone supposedly looks with a blog post on my website. But
There's mock-up designs of this.
oh yeah, there's stuff coming up everywhere about this new iPhone 6 as it gets closer and closer and closer to the supposed. I want to mention this real quick, but supposedly this is coming in late August, I believe,
Okay.
which is early because
It doesn't usually come out in October.
yeah, either let's see, August. I have to count my months. Usually comes out around August, like 14th. I know. Well, you know what? Last year, yeah, 2013, it came out in September 20th, I
Okay.
believe. Because the keynote was like the 11th.
Did something? What came out in October last year? Something did.
Um,
Maybe it was the Xbox One. I'm thinking of.
Maybe. That sounds extremely familiar. Maybe it was Mavericks.
Maybe it was Mavericks. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
October 10th.
yeah, that sounds familiar. I don't know why either.
I don't know what date that was. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, those lines on the back of the 6. Not the hugest fan, just put it that way.
Hey, this might be the first phone where I say it's fine to have a back case on.
I mean, I'm a huge lover currently because of the design of the 5S. It looks really nice in my opinion.
Yeah.
I hate wearing a case, but I'm moving around at school day. I just cannot take the risk of that screen just shattering.
I was sick of the 4's design very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one. I'm like, really? They're coming out with a new design already? That went by fast. But with the 4, I was like, oh my gosh, please, new design. I'm so tired of this one. I don't know why I feel like that way about it. What's really weird is that the iPhone 3GS was like my all-time like phone that I always like wanted to get for some reason. I don't know why. It's just that one just seemed really cool.
The 3GS?
Yeah. I mean, it's trash now, but
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, looking at anything. I mean, look, I have my first ever iPod. It's an 8 GB second gen iPod Touch, and the most it can run is like iOS 4. And looking at that,
it only goes up to iOS 4.1.3.
yeah, it's like you can't even run iOS 5 with iMessage on it. It doesn't even have the multitasking little bar at the bottom for all your recent apps. And
I have mine still works. I actually have it jailbroken.
oh, really? You can jailbreak it on the latest firmware?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
No, wait, no.
Maybe
I,
not. I could have sworn it was like 4.2.1.
it might have been 4 point. It might have been 4.1.2.
4.1.2 sounds right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have it jailbroken though. It's a fresh jailbreak. Nothing's really been done on it at all.
Oh,
It just
yeah.
sits in a drawer. It's sad.
It rusts in peace.
Yeah, but that was my first ever Apple device.
A
Was
second gen iPod?
or no? Why am I saying that? My first Apple device that was actually mine, like that wasn't a handy down or whatever, was my iPod Nano. Uh, it's the cube one. It's the one that's like a little square,
Oh, really? Oh,
which
that's
is
cool.
still my favorite design of the iPad Pod Nano. Well, I guess not now because it's a touch screen and everything, but
Yeah, thinking of it again too. My first Apple product. I'm thinking of my first touchscreen Apple product, but my first actual Apple product, as far as iOS goes, was well, not even iOS. It was an iPod Nano. It was the skinny one with the square screen at the top and the circular plus play volume up and down
wait,
buttons.
was it the square? Like, cause they had a couple versions of that. Was it like the first? Was it the one that came in? It was the first one to come in a lot of different colors, and it wasn't the rectangle screen. Was it the? Was it more of the square screen?
It
Or
was
was
like a completely square screen. It was in the very top of the device. It was silver, and down at the bottom, it was the little.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one that's before mine.
Okay.
My mom still uses that one to this day.
Really?
Yeah, she uses that as the car music device. It plugs into the car and
Oh,
it's just tucked away.
that's a good
It's
idea.
really never
Actually,
touched at all.
it's a really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, she also doesn't use that as much. She kind of just connects her phone to the car now too. So.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't even on the agenda, but I'm curious to see what Apple's gonna do next with the iPod Touch. Because I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to think what. I mean, of course, a faster processor and all that, but it would be really hard for me to see like a 4.7-inch iPod Touch for some reason.
I feel like it isn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah,
Almost.
I mean,
Like after our generation,
everybody's got a phone.
I'm gonna say around like a 3 or 4 age period between ours, like maybe like a 13-year-old to 17-year-old. Uh, I might be wrong on that, but those ages, the iPod Touch was the thing to get, and then maybe later in life you would get an iPhone. But right now I can get an iPod Touch, and that's what's awesome. Is because I can technically have an iPhone, but it's not an iPhone. And
Exactly.
everybody wanted that, and I feel like it started the iPod Touch 2G, and it went to the iPod Touch 4G, and quit there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like everybody's got an iPhone. I've seen very few iPod Touches out in the wild world.
I've only seen like one or two once.
Yeah, I saw one the other day when I can't even remember where, and then I haven't seen one like prior to like a week ago in months. It's iPhone. Lately, I've been seeing tons and tons of iPhone 5Ss.
Yeah,
Like more so than anything else. I've seen very, very few 5Cs. Maybe
yeah,
maybe
I mean,
4.
I've seen a couple 5Cs. There is, and like you still even see iPod Touch fourth gens more than
Oh,
fifth gens because
for
they
sure.
cost so much less money.
Oh yeah, it's a lot cheaper. When the new iPod 5 came out, the iPod 4 completely dropped down, and economically is what I'm trying to say. That was the
Right.
completely more viable and smart option for most people.
Yeah,
Which, of course, I can't blame them. I mean, everybody wants something that's cheaper and mainly functions the same way.
yeah. Hey Sam, what's that alternative to Barrel that is free?
All right, so this is a tweak that no, I take that back. I think this works on a lot of iOS versions. I was gonna just say iOS 7, but I'm fairly certain this works on like I want to say iOS like 4 through iOS 7. Don't quote me on that though. But this is a tweak that is a free Barrel replacement. I'm sure most of you know Barrel is the classic. Just I think it's from like iOS 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
that allows you to get these page animations of like twirling or the icons flipping all around, and it's really cool. Like that's one of the things when I first jailbroke on iOS 6 that I thought of, because I had seen it in a couple YouTube videos of people's animations doing that, and I'd always wondered how they did that. And being on Cydia's featured homepage of Cydia all the time, I eventually found it, bought it, and I used it. But on iOS 7, I was encountering a couple issues with it. So when Cylinder came out, I downloaded that, and I actually just uninstalled it today because there's an issue with Apex 2, which we will talk about in just a moment, that where you would close the grouping of apps, you would get this really weird, like, the screen would flash, and it wasn't working, so I had to uninstall it today. But I hope that both developers
It has a picture of a baby as the icon.
Yeah, it's quite odd, I guess would be the word for it. Just like a baby either laughing or screaming, which is
I have no idea.
It's a bit unique, put it that way. But
apparently, this was created all the way back in iOS 3.
Yeah, I think he made it compatible.
I have 2 repos, so I can see it on the other repo. Sometimes it doesn't have an updated description, so.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, for those of you who are interested, the best thing about Cylinder and why it got so much, I guess, press, you would say, is because it's free. It's 100% free on the Big Boss repo. And for those of you who don't feel like ever buying Barrel but want these cool icon animations, definitely check out Cylinder. I think most of you will really enjoy it. Talking about some other pretty awesome iOS 7 jailbreak tweaks. It was a beautiful transition right there. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah.
And anyway, guys, Apex
Segue.
2, at the time of recording this podcast, came out today, and it is a tweak by A3 Tweaks. We've talked about them multiple times on the previous podcast. They make such great tweaks. This is an iOS 7 jailbreak tweak that allows you to group apps underneath other apps, and you get these beautiful animations. It's all physics and gestures based, and it really works great. I'm actually working on my review of that right now. I just did the voiceover before this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'll probably film and hopefully upload tonight, but
it looks really good. I love it in the dock because it reminds me of the stacking option in OS X. Don't know if you can still do that.
I never thought about it that way, but you're really right on that. It does remind me. It works just like it too, where it's like all stacked above.
Yeah.
That's a really cool feature. You can add groups of app icons around the dock too, which is a really cool feature. I'm glad they implemented that. Also, there's full iPad support in version 1.0 of Apex 2, which is really cool. Usually A3 Tweaks does a couple little minor bug fix updates, and then in like 1.1 or 1.2 we'll add iPad support. But this time, right off the bat, there's iPad support, which is a huge plus for this tweak. I always love it when just directly something supports both iPhone and iPad, because would you say there's a fair majority of people with jailbroken iPads?
Unfortunately, no. I mean I feel, well, maybe there is a lot, but there isn't. Just you can't
compare it to the iPhone version.
Right, yeah. It's just there's so many more people on the iPhone that are jailbroken, I think.
Oh, and I'm sure it's because even though the iPhone to buy it standalone is more expensive than an iPad, the way most people look at it, an iPhone's $200, an iPad's $500. There's a $300 difference, and I'm sure that's why there's 10 times more iPhone users than compared to iPad.
Yeah, this I really like this. Keep forgetting the name of it. I really like Cylinder. It's got a lot more animations.
Oh yeah,
and better animations than Barrel.
Yeah, you can combine effects. It works really well. But anyway, for those of you wondering, Apex 2 is available in Cydia's Big Boss repo for $2.99 for those of you who wish to download it. Now, another tweak that has gotten quite the hype lately is Alt Keyboard 2. This is a tweak that I never picked up on iOS 6 that pretty much just allows you to type alternate keys by swiping up on keys, and you can get capital letters by swiping down rather than just having to click the little numerical button to get capital letters or the shift key. And based on my experience using Alt Keyboard 2, I was very, very fortunate to get it lucky. I'll try to have a review on that up hopefully Saturday, May the 24th. Hopefully it'll be up by then. But after my experience using it, it's really cool. I like the way it works. It allows you to type a lot faster, of course. I have to get used to not typing the number section to put a period or question mark or exclamation point, because now I can just swipe up and
Yeah.
it's so much easier.
Yeah, it sounds really, really nice.
But that is supposedly coming May 25th of 2014. For those of you listening to this podcast, if you want to get that, it should be out on or after May 25th of 2014, which is quite exciting. These are two pretty big jailbreak tweaks that are released in like 2 days of each other.
So, yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. So, I think next week we're gonna talk about what we expect to see at WWDC. But
Yeah.
this week we're going to talk about what we want in iOS 8.
Yeah, because this is, I read just a little bit of a paper somebody wrote about iOS 7, and they said, it's along the lines of, I'm not directly quoting it, but they said along the lines of, is if iOS 7 is Apple's biggest step in the new direction, then iOS 8 can be Apple's greatest redemption. And I think that statement is totally true. I'm pretty sure Julian Weiss or Insane J wrote a paper about that, and he put it on Medium, this paper reading service. But I really like the way he put that, because I just think that's so true.
It's its biggest step, and it can be its biggest redemption.
Yeah, that iOS 8 can like fix all the things that people didn't like about iOS 7, or change things.
iOS. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Right. And some of those things, are you saying in bug wise or look wise?
Oh, I think just all around. I mean, there
all
was home screen crashes on iOS 7. It was really slow when it had first come out.
It was definitely designed to only basically work with the 5S or A7 devices.
Yeah, that's another thing where Apple can redeem themselves. They can make
which is not really fair to.
Yeah, man, iOS 7 on the iPhone 4 prior to iOS 7.1, borderline unusable in my opinion.
The beta was I used the beta for a number of months. And yeah, that was not very good.
It was rough.
Yeah.
But as far as Jake, what would, if you had one feature, if Tim Cook called you up on the phone and said, Jake, what is one feature that you want in iOS 8, and we will put it in there immediately?
What do you want in the iPhone 5?
At Apple, we really put our entire heart and soul into designing products that will be innovative and engineered for the entire community.
That is the
Tim Cook impression right there. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Cue the applause. No.
Impression.
But what would your number one feature be if you could pick one?
I don't know if this is really fair to say. Customization. Well, we want the tweak store, Sam.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna put in the tweak store, right?
Yeah,
And
I don't want to talk about that too much, so nobody steals my idea. But
right. I think the one thing that I'd really like to see is a change. It's hard to put it in a specific form. I'd like to see a change in layout.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. Like the greatest example of this would be Android.
It's in a very broad spectrum.
Yeah,
I'd say maybe in a category sense, but I know that's never going to happen because iOS is made not to really change in how you use it that much.
Yeah, it's
but
supposed
I
to be.
feel like the people that actually really love iOS and want to see it go in different directions want to see different ways that you can use it.
Yeah,
iOS
is one of the greatest, well, in my opinion, it is the greatest mobile OS ever created. And there's the one thing that whenever I hear someone review iOS or review iOS 7.1 or iOS 7, it's this is the greatest iOS from Apple ever, but there's still limited customization.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, does that like I personally I was very indifferent about iOS 7. I liked that it was changing, but I didn't really like how they changed it. And I mean, this is like a huge thing. It's like, let's all make. Did I talk about this in the last one about flat icons and flat UI, and just everybody's gonna make that now, and it's just, and even on Google Images when I'm trying to make my theme, it's just like people, one of the auto things is like App Store flat. Why would you want that? I just don't really see like
Yeah, I mean, I don't doesn't
it,
I'm kind of
and
indifferent
it
about that aspect.
what
About like what were you saying like the App Store like flat?
like if I searched in like if I searched like let's see, let me find an icon here. Um like maybe like uh Twitter that's not a good example because that's already flat UI. Um, yeah, maybe I'm just gonna use like Apple Store icon flat.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like I understand. Like yeah, okay, cool. I'd like some of these simple themes. That's a good idea, but everybody's doing it. It's not like an original thing. With iOS 6 themes, everybody's theme was like a lot more unique.
Yeah, I completely agreed there. iOS and it's just a trend that I don't see changing anytime soon, which is
Right.
unfortunate that everybody's theme is, in a sense, starting to look the same.
Yep. And then yeah, I'd like to see that in iOS. And then also, I'd like to see the icons change again, but I know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, you might have seen this before. I saw the best like mock-up of an iOS 8 like UI. Have you seen this? It might have been on Ty's iHelp or something.
I
It
don't
says
think so.
it says like here type in maybe I like iOS 8 uh it's like iOS 8 it looks like it says iOS 8. It's like in like a little purple box and it shows an iPhone and all the icons look like kind of like they're matte. They're matte icons. They're not
Oh,
flat.
yeah.
They're not glossy.
Yeah, that kind of like unique matte look.
Yeah, and like it had a lot of different colors. It was very vibrant and I just thought it looked very nice. I
Now
I,
that,
I
yeah.
wished iOS. I looked at that and I said I wish that was iOS 8.
Yeah,
And
I mean, coming from a jailbreak user, if I had to pick one feature, if Tim Cook said, Sam, we really love iOS, what would you love to change about it? I would say, I want something. I would say, Mr. Cook, I would love something to change the icons, to give
what
users a
you want
choice
on the
to make their
iPhone?
icons look. And I'm going to explain this. I'm going to call it
Right.
the theme store right now. This is my concept. If I got to work at Apple, if I was put on their engineering design team, I would make, first off, probably this thing called the theme store, or the icon store, maybe it would be even better. And you would be
Yeah.
allowed to download designers' themes and install them on your phone without being jailbroken. No Winterboard, no Cydia, but you would be able to immerse yourself in this marketplace of multimedia icons put together from designers around the world. I mean, just imagine if you had designers from around the world creating their own icon sets for iOS. How, I mean, there's amazing designers in the world that haven't taken a foot in the door of jailbreaking that nobody's ever heard about in the
Right.
jailbreak community.
One of the best examples of that in UI essence, not as much as an icon, is uh I mean sorry, what's his name who made Facebook?
Zuckerberg?
Um
Oh,
Zuck
Facebook paper you're talking about?
yeah.
Grant Paul.
Or the one that looks really nice. Is that paper?
Yeah, that's Grant Paul.
Okay. Yeah. Like that just looks really nice. Like, and you showed me it again today, the fluidness of it.
Oh
I
yeah.
did look up I typed in iOS 8 on Google Images and I did find the image very quickly.
All right. Just drop or send me the link to that now. Once again, I'll include that in the description of this
Sure.
podcast and in this YouTube video on a blog post on my site. So check
I'm
that out.
actually seeing a lot of cool images here, really.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I just wish Apple would open it up to everybody. That's my number one feature, hands down, is the ability to change just the look of the icons, to change the way iOS looks. This would not be by default. You would go on the App Store and download an app called the Theme Store, and then that way people who had no idea what they were doing wouldn't install all these things that they didn't know what they were. They would be perfect, in my opinion, for power users and jailbreakers. I mean, I couldn't. Who would go against that idea other than Apple?
No one.
Yeah, exactly. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you, Mr. Cook? I'm waiting.
Yeah, yeah, I know. No one would stop it at all except for Apple. Is the thing.
Everybody would be like, "This is the greatest thing. Apple is breaking out of their comfort zone. People are gonna love this. People could sell their themes."
And quite honestly, Apple needs new ideas.
Exactly.
They're not shooting out like new things here.
Oh
Like,
no, I mean, with Steve Jobs gone, Apple's definitely been, I think, a bit slower idea and concept wise.
I think the iPhone 5S has really been the best thing after Jobs has been gone. But
Yeah. Oh,
besides that, really nothing has been that impactful. Like the iPhone 5, like that, like right after like the 4 came out, we knew what the iPhone 5 was gonna be. It was gonna be slimmer, have the same design, and just a slightly better processor than the last one, and the color was pretty cool. But
yeah.
like because like it was pretty well known because I mean there was some debate because they had the iPhone 3G and then the 3GS and then the 4. I guess after the 4S, it was pretty definite what they were going to do. Um, but yeah, like it would be so cool. That would be a great new idea from them. I just don't.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be my number one. A secondary. I mean, I'm kind of jumping on the whole embargo. I don't even know if that's the correct word, but the whole train of quick reply in iOS 8. That seems like the big thing that people are wanting to be
For
integrated into
messages?
iOS. Yeah, like you get a text, you just kind of like Aukey. I reviewed that tweak.
Right.
It allows you to quick
I've
reply
seen
by a
these.
tap.
Yeah.
That's another one that's the popular, I guess, request for iOS 8. But supposedly in iOS 8, well, we'll say this for next episode. We'll talk about what we're actually expecting in iOS 8. Hopefully next week, if all works out. 'Cause
Right.
once again, we both have finals. It's gonna be quite busy.
Yeah. I don't know if there will be. We might record on Saturday, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
But
But
we
I
will
mean,
probably have plans on Friday. So
yeah, not sure at this time, but I mean, I think that'll just about wrap up this episode.
how long have we been going?
About 44 minutes.
Huh.
So, pretty good.
Yeah, just a couple. How do I can share this link to you.
Yeah, just text
Do I
it
have
to
to
me.
go? Oh, here we go. Okay. So, yeah, was that it? Was that the. Yeah, so realistically, next week we're going to talk about what we
Yeah,
actually
I
think.
think that'd be a good
Okay.
incentive.
But I will just.
Yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks for being my co-host again, Jake. It's
Yeah.
quite a good old time.
Yeah, this is really fun to do.
Yeah, I think our audience likes it too. The only reason I didn't post the second Jailbreak Jab, if you're watching this video right now and you've been wondering the whole episode, well, what happened to the second episode? Why didn't you post that? It's because I botched the audio of it. Long story short, I messed up the audio. I didn't want to upload it to YouTube. However, if you subscribe on iTunes, you can listen to that episode
Yep.
there if you
Available
want to.
on iTunes.
Oh yeah, which is
Best,
awesome. I'm so excited it's on iTunes.
yeah, best jailbreak show on iTunes.
Oh, hands down or
Yeah.
hands up,
It's
whichever.
also if you want to watch it on my channel, it is available.
Oh yeah, of course. It's on Jacob's. What am I saying? This has been a
That is
long
not
day.
my name.
we better just wrap up this episode
Yeah.
real quick before I get a little too more confused than I already am. So
All
thanks
right.
a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
See you guys later.
See ya.